Hello, my name is Rene Pintal, and as Dr. Reed said, I will be discussing the development of political attitudes, and I'm happy that I've been able to attend today. So as we know, politics are a part of our daily lives, especially with the current polarized political climate. Political attitudes influence how you vote, the way you perceive things, and how you interact with the world, and even the people you interact with. Because these are such a huge part of our lives, I wanted to study how they develop. As of right now, there are two main theories. The first has to do with personality traits. One study by Block and Block in 2006 examined the personality traits of preschoolers and then followed up with them 20 years later. They found that conservative children were easily offended, indecisive, and scared. As adults, they were more likely to follow traditional gender roles, they were conventional, conformist, and moralistic. On the other hand, liberal children were more likely to have close relationships, were independent, and energetic. As adults, they had a wide range of interests, enjoyed change, and were non-conformist. The other school of thought on the development of political attitudes is genetics. A study by Alfred Funk and Hibbing in 2005 found that genetics are a strong indicator of political ideology, and the environment has a larger influence on political party affiliation. A study by Bill Hurst, Eves, and Hatemi in 2012 found that personality traits and political ideology are correlational, and that genetics can influence both the personality traits and political ideology. As most of these studies had to do with children and young adults or twin studies, I wanted to do case studies that would focus on two individuals in depth so I could ask them how they thought their political attitudes developed. And I mainly wanted to see what causes these attitudes to develop. Nature or nurture? Was it their environment or their genetics? So I had two participants. One was a Republican and one was a Democrat. The first participant was 71, white, and self-identified as a Democrat. And he was also an immigrant who immigrated to America from Germany at the age of 4. My second participant was 81, white, and self-identified as a Republican, and he was born and raised in America. I asked them both questions about their childhood, and if their families were politically minded, if their family and environments influenced their political views, and how their political views developed as they grew up. After I recorded the interviews, I transcribed them and analyzed them using open coding, where I color-coded concepts into categories, and then I grouped these categories into overlying themes. When it came to personality traits and genetics, both participants displayed conservative personality traits. The Republican participant described himself as obedient, and he said he had authoritarian parents. The Democratic participant said he was shy and introverted and trying to fit in. However, he had egalitarian parents. When it came to genetics, as I couldn't actually do any genetic testing, what I did find was that the Republican participant's parents did not discuss politics. However, he did identify as the same political party as his parents. On the other hand, the Democratic participant's parents did discuss politics, and all three of their children were strongly liberal and influenced each other. However, the largest influence I found was environmental influence. Voting for them seemed to be reactive, even for their parents. The Republican participant's parents, his father was a steel worker and a union member. On the other hand, the Republican participant then voted mainly in reaction to changes during the 1960s. He didn't like that people were smoking marijuana, that there was free sex, rioting, and all that. He disliked that, so his political views developed as a response to that. On the other hand, the Democratic participants were Polish immigrants. His mother had endured in a concentration camp, while his father had been a prisoner of war. As such, they had lived under Hitler, and once they moved to America, they voted as a result of that. The participant himself, however, his views developed once he learned more about and witnessed inequality in both his life and other people's lives. He described that how once he started attending a parochial school, he learned about inequality in other countries, and he just felt that it was a huge injustice and that developed his own political They both also said that their political views have continued to develop throughout their lives in reaction to current events. So while there may be signs of a biological influence as the families did kind of vote and agree in line with each other, I believe that there's more environmental influence. And many Americans choose political parties due to influence of their parents and their personal beliefs. But more Americans nowadays are voting and acting due to the current events around them, and even switching parties as a result. And while party switching is not uncommon, several Americans have gone from voting Republican to Democrat, citing disapproval of the Trump administration. I believe these results can be used to explain both the 2016 election and possibly predict the 2020 election. If people are influenced by their environment, then it should be possible to track how their votes and ideology may change based on both their past and current beliefs and how they react to current events. I also think that candidates could use this information to plan for their campaigns and persuade people to vote for them.
All right, we have time for questions.
There's one behind you.
Okay.
If I may, so what prompted you to use an elderly set or a older set of participants for your survey rather than using someone of a more concurrent with our age or more contemporary? Say the target range between 25 and 52.
Thank you for your question. Most of the studies that I research deal with children and adolescents, so I definitely didn't want to do a very young age group. First, I knew both these people were very staunchly Republican and staunchly Democrat, so that they were very solid in their political affiliation. I also thought that since they had gone through so much in their lives, they had been through the 60s and all that, and to see how their reactions to the current day where there is another social change, I thought would be interesting as well.
Another one.
We're always behind. So you say that they were staunchly Republican and Democrat. Did you have any indicators of what that meant to them to be a member of those two parties? Because we've seen, in the last 5 to 7 years, pretty radical shifts in what it means to belong to either of those parties.
That was the interesting part. When I began the interviews, I read them off some of the values based on both the official GOP and the Democrat websites, and they agreed with them. But as the interview progressed, they kind of said that they weren't staunchly, those were their ideals, but they thought their parties were moving away from those ideas and being too radical. So that was very interesting.
Do you know if they actually did vote Democrat and Republican in 2016? And did you ask them about their upcoming views of, or their current views of their current party and their upcoming plans for voting?
I did not ask them about their voting plans, but right now they're mainly sticking to their ideals and will vote in line with those. But I get the feeling from both of them they will probably stay in party lines based on.
Still staying, but you got a feeling there's a little questioning there.
Yeah, because the Republican participant thought that, well, some of their views were kind of radical. Others weren't radical enough. He kept saying, why can't they get them all done?
Yeah.
Well, the Democratic participants also thought that they were a little too radical too, and thinking if we want to get anything done, maybe we need to tone that back a bit.
Any other questions? All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much.